Revelio.
I can do this. I can do this. They will want to help.
Is this where we're meeting the Centaurs?
Well, they don't exactly know we're coming, so it's less of a meeting and more of a surprise, I suppose.
I'm not sure about this. I can't imagine they're fond of being surprised.
We don't have a choice if we want to help the Snidgets. Perhaps they'll be able to tell that we're sincere. There's something about them that's so knowing. It's almost unnerving.
I hope they can tell we're sincere, but... Poppy, Centaurs are just... Centaurs. They can't read your mind any better than I could.
Perhaps you're right. It's just... Never mind.
What is it?
It's nothing, truly. We've no secrets to hide.
That's right. We'll simply be honest with them about what we're trying to do. They'll have to help us, won't they?
Yes, of course. You're absolutely right. We'll meet with them, tell them about the Snidgets, and I'm sure it'll all be fun.
What do you think you're doing here, humans?
Please! We were hoping to speak with you.
Ah! I suppose you'd like a tale for your friends of the time you spoke to a centaur, and it spoke back.
No, never! We're here because we need your help.
Enough! You made a grave error in judgment in coming here, little witch.
Leave them be, Alec. We do not harm the young. It is not our way.
You forget your place, old fool. I'm the leader of this herd, and while you cling to our way, their kind continue to slaughter beasts like us without a care!
From what I can see, they have slaughtered no one. They will leave here unharmed.
Mark my words, Doran. If I ever see them again, it will be all 3 of your heads.
Foolish children. Do you know what happens to wizards who wander here? Now, follow me before
Golden Snidgets are still alive, and the poachers are after them. They know that the key to finding them lies in the moonlight, but they don't know what that means, yet. Please, help us find the Snidgets before the poachers do.
Could it be? In the south, there is a cave within which lies what the poachers seek. A moonstone. Retrieve it and place it in the henge in the forest. I, on the other hand, must go speak with the herd. Find me after you have done this.
I don't understand. So the moonlight mentioned in the journal doesn't refer to actual moonlight, but to a moonstone. What do moonstones have to do with Snidgets? And why was he so certain about where we could find one?
Isn't Moonstone all around us? Why retrieve one from a cave?
Knowing centaurs, I suspect he's referring to a specific moon.
I don't know, but I am inclined to believe him, what with his being a centaur and all.
I am too. It is a shame how quickly he left. What was his name?
That's what the leader of the herd called him.
Well, if Doran knows something we don't, I'd rather... I can head to the library and start... I'll let you know what I find.
Tego! Revelio! Revelio.
She's devastated. She just buried your uncle alone.
I did it for her.
Sebastian,
Revelio.
Anne can't bear the thought of turning you in, but
What? Turn me in? She saw what happened.
I'll give you some time to think, Sebastian.
Turn me in?
Lumos. Sebastian.
Did you hear that? You saw what happened. I never wanted to hurt my uncle.
I know.
I can't believe he's gone. How did things go so wrong? I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to... Oh, Anne, I was only trying to help. I can't leave now. Anne needs me more than ever. You understand. You can talk to Ominis. Make him understand. He listens to you. I need to be with Anne.
I don't know what to do, Sebastian.
You don't know. You do know. Anne has no one. I regret everything I did. I know what I did was wrong. I only hope she can forgive me. That everyone can forgive me. No matter what happens from here, I'm glad we met.
Potato!
Poor Sebastian.
Lumos. Ominous.
What a mess. I can't believe it. After I last saw you, I went straight to Hogwarts. Before I had time to talk to Black, I heard from Anne. I rushed to Feldcroft and found her with Solomon's body. She was beside herself with grief. Part of her wants Sebastian to face the consequences, another part can't bear the thought of it. I don't want to lose Sebastian, but I don't think we have a choice.
We do have a choice. What good will it do to turn him in now? He clearly regrets everything. He's not going to do anything like this again.
We've both heard that before.
But we also need to think about Anne. She's lost her health, and now she's lost her uncle. Do you really want to take her brother away from her too?
I understand what you're saying. Perhaps you're right. As much as I believe that Sebastian should pay for his actions, we'd only be punishing Anne as well. I hope we're doing the right thing. I'll talk to Anne. If it comes from me, she'll agree with this decision.
Thank you, Ominous. You're a good friend.
Whatever lies ahead, we must face it together. That I know.
Lumos. Revelio. A castle. Must have been quite stately in its time. Revelio.
Are you familiar with the hamlet of Irondale? It's south of the castle. I think the cave that Doran wanted us to find is near there.
I'm ready to do what's needed to take Harlow down. I know you have a plan.
We must gather information from the friends of Mr. Bickle that Archie and Mrs. Bickle mentioned. Agabus Filbert, Otto Dibble, and Mr. and Mrs. Rabe.
All right.
I suggest that you speak with each of them while I head to the Hog's Head. I saw some Ashwinders heading there. And as my mother would never go near the Hog's Head, she is less likely to learn of my activities than if I were to wander the village questioning its residents.
Where am I to find these friends of his?
I do not know about Mr. Rabe, but his wife, Daisy, is often in Hogsmeade, as is Agabus Filbert. And Otto Dibble, he works at Gladrags, so you will likely find him there.
What sort of information am I trying to gather from these people?
They may know what evidence Mr. Bickle had against Harlow, or they may have evidence of their own. We simply need to know whatever they know.
Very well. I'll speak with them. See what I can learn.
I knew I could rely on you. We need to know how they are being blackmailed by Rookwood and Harlow. Meet me here after you have spoken with them. Hopefully, by the time you return, I will be able to move a bit more freely.
Revelio.
Beetle, hairy-hearted for my taste.
Mrs. Rabe should be nearby.
Oh, Isco, what have I done?
Mrs. Rabe, I wondered if I might speak with you about Theophilus Harlow. I'm a friend of the Bickles and I'm trying to gather evidence against him.
Poor Joanna and little Archie. And now Harlow has taken my darling Isco.
What do you mean? Why?
I'm a security guard at Gringotts, and my husband is a curse breaker for them. Harlow approached me about helping him extort my colleagues into giving him treasures from the vaults.
And you declined?
Of course I declined. Repeatedly. I thought they'd given up, until I came home one night and found my husband gone, and a note affixed to my door with a knife. The note stated that I only had a few days to reconsider helping with some banking needs, and that my husband would appreciate it if I acted quickly. But the help Harlow wants is help that I cannot give, and my dearest Isco is paying the price.
Why wouldn't Harlow extort your husband?
Isco's job is even more removed from the vaults than mine. He travels the world for the... I'm the one in the bank on a daily basis, which evidently makes me an enticing target for blackmail.
Have you helped Harlow since your husband was taken?
No. I'm worried sick about Isco, but he'd never want me to compromise my integrity. That said, I was hoping he would have escaped by now. It makes me concerned as to why he hasn't.
Are you sure the note means that your husband was kidnapped?
What else could it possibly mean? Besides, I came home to find that someone had trampled the daisies in our garden. It may sound silly, but those were Isco's pride and joy. He would never have let that happen.
Thank you, Mrs. Rabe. Knowing the lengths that Harlow will go to is helpful, albeit more than disturbing.
Mr. Bickle was trying to help us, but now he's gone. I don't know what to do.
I shall do all I can to get evidence against Harlow, Mrs. Rabe.
Very well. Here's the note I received.
Some evidence worth hanging on to.
Thank you. I hope it's not too late.
Now to find Mr. Bickle's other two friends. Otto Dibble works at Gladrags. I should check that.
Please tell me you didn't take it, but perhaps it's been here.
Mr. Dibble, may I speak with you? It's about Theophilus Harlow.
I've nothing to say about him. May I interest you in...
Please, sir, I would like to help.
You know the Bickles? All right, but we must be...
I know, Mr. Hill. He was kind to me the day of the troll.
Oh, he's a good man. But even he wouldn't understand. It started a few weeks ago. I was distracted. I hid the note behind the counter and offered to help him. I went into the storeroom to check on what turned out to be.
What was in the note?
It was a note from Rosie Hill, Mr. Hill's daughter. You see, we've been, well, secretly engaged these past 6 months. We haven't told Mr. Hill yet. I dare say he has higher hopes for her. Harlow advised me in no uncertain terms that my relationship with Rosie, not to mention my employment here, depended upon my cooperation.
What did he ask you to do?
It all happened so quickly. In an instant, he took a very expensive scarf from the counter, pocketed it, and smiled. He said, "Your secret is safe as long as I can supply my lady friend." I've been able to cover for his requests until now, but I can't keep it out for much longer.
Could you give me a bit more detail about the note that might help me to identify it should I come across it?
It's on Rosie's special pink stationery. It has her monogram at the top, RH. That's how Mr. Hill would know it was real.
What have you been doing to keep the extortion a secret?
Well, as I mentioned, creative bookkeeping. And I've also been trying to cover the cost. Of course, none of this bodes well for my effort.
I met Mr. Hill the day of the troll attack. He was kind to me. Why don't you just tell him?
He's a lovely man. But when it comes to Rosie, I fear he loses... I'd lose my job instantly.
Thank you for telling me. I'm gathering evidence to take Harlow down.
I would love nothing more than to see him rotting in as... As for Rosie's letter, should you happen upon it, I have committed...
Understood.
Now hurry off before Mr. Hill returns. Where was I?
We're on the right track. Now to find the last of Mr. Bickle's friends.
Anyone fancy going?
Agabus Filbert must be around here somewhere.
Hello there.
Excuse me, Mr. Filbert. I wondered if I might speak with you about your dealings with Theophilus Harlow. I hope to ease Mrs. Bickle's mind by gathering evidence against him.
Oh, tragic what happened to Bickle. He wanted me to speak out against Harlow for an act of violence committed against me. But I feared Harlow's retaliation, and so I refused.
You may have shared Mr. Bickle's fate if you had spoken out against Harlow, as he requested.
Unfortunately, I suspect you're right.
You said that Harlow committed an act of violence against you. Could you tell me what happened?
Before my extraordinary wife, Dulcibella, passed away, she had just completed a small book of poetry. As a surprise for her birthday, one she never had the chance to celebrate, I had the book beautifully bound and plated in gold. One day, Harlow came calling to punish me for having spoken out against the Neanderthals that comprise Rookwood's lot. Before I knew it, I'd been petrified, and Harlow was rifling through my home. He found the book of poetry, with its exquisite gold plating. I watched helplessly, lying there in my entranceway as he walked away with the book, laughing as he went. I was shaken to my core. Still am, to be honest.
I imagine you fear Harlow retaliating again. But do you mind if I share this information with Officer Singer?
I suppose I have no choice. This extortion can't go on forever. You can pass it on to anyone who may be willing to help. Harlow does not like people talking, as you already know.
I've spoken with Mr. Bickle's friends. Now to find Natty. Like Natty to be late. She said she was going to the Hog's Head. Perhaps I'll find her there. Natty must be around here somewhere. Natty's wand. She can cast without it. She wanted me to find this. She's in trouble. Revelio will show me where she was taken. Revelio!
Nosy little students get what's coming to them.
Natty must have been taken this way. I need to find her quickly. Footprints led to this room. There must be another way forward. The hidden door. Natty must have been taken this way. I need to find her quickly. I'd better be sure I'm not seen.
I've robbed every traveling vendor that's passed through here.
Work. Girl's like, someone's coming for her. We ought to just kill her. Only the arrogant enough to come in here alone. Hey. Fire.
Revelio.
They don't seem to care for me, the Hogs. When we're done here, I'm going straight to the Hog's Head. Or perhaps I'll just go now.
We may be working with the goblins for now, but soon they'll be answering to us.
Do you remember the first life you took? Can't say I do. All a bit of... I don't trust you, Ranrock. I'll tell you that. You'll tell on us first chance we get.
Oh, what the night.
It's about time.
Everyone in Upper Hogsmeade shudders when they see me come, and rightfully so.
You're no puppet master!
As if it's all the fault of us witches! You talk as if we do nothing but spend our days growing up!
Potato! Nice trick!
Oh, I fancy it's time we found a new unsuspecting trader around these parts, don't you? Oh.
Expulso! Potato! Potato! Projector! Expulso!
So close!
I'll not be your protector! Projector! Potato! Potato! You will pay for your expulso! You're going to regret that. Expulso!
Is that all you know?
You're no puppet master! Expulso!
I shall be shining in Rookwood's eyes when he's...
Expulso! 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 What are you, shy? I've seen more courage in a forelock. Expulso! 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 Anyone there? You don't want Radaka! I'll not be Radaka! Expulso! Regret that! Expulso!
Pathetic! You're putting me to sleep.
Expulso!
You always this awful?
You'll be sorry. Expulso! I hear you. Whoever you are. Expulso! Lance, in a duel? Pathetic. Expulso! 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 Expulso!
Get! I shall end you! What's that? Better have a look then.
It's time to even the odds. Expulso! 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 Expulso!
Me. You'll answer for this!
Otto Dibble's love letter from Rosie. He wanted me to destroy this if I found it.
We should speak to her again. Perhaps she'll tell us where we can find that friend of hers.
She's determined to say nothing. The boss will deal with her when he arrives.
Expulso! 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 You cannot control me!
Still nothing.
I ain't allowed back in Gladrags on account of my light fingers.
Revelio.
I am at your call. Expulso!
Revelio.
Expulso! How dare you do such a thing to me? Miss a payment with me, and I'll make you pay through the nose.
Revelio. Book of poems that was taken from Agabus Filbert. He'll be thrilled to have this back. Revelio. Natty must be here somewhere. Revelio.
You found us! I knew you would realize I had left my wand for you.
Over here. I need your help.
Revelio. Alohomora. Revelio. Mr. Rabe, Daisy told me you'd been abducted.
You spoke with my wife. How is she?
Worried about you. Are you all right?
I am all right. Thank you for coming. These locks are cursed, and there's an anti-apparition jinx on the cells. Even Natty's skill with wandless magic cannot free us. I need you to find my wand.
Mr. Rabe, I found your wand.
Well done. I knew it was nearby. Now, you best stand back. One never knows how a curse will react to being broken.
Revelio.
Thank you, Mr. Isco.
My pleasure. And thank you, my friend. We owe our lives to your bravery. I may be too weak to disapparate with you both, but I can try.
You go ahead. Find Officer Singer. We will get out of here on our own.
Very well. But be careful. Thank you, my young friends.
Be prepared for a fight. These Ashwinders must pay.
Revelio.
Officer Singer and put an end to Harlow.
Revelio. Lumos.
Natsai Onai. I should have known. And you, the troll dispatcher. Oh, thank goodness the two of you are safe. Isco Rabe told me a couple of students had rescued him. Should have known it was you two.
Is Mr. Rabe all right?
He is. I sent him home to his wife, Miss Onai. Your mother will not be pleased to learn that you're still risking your safety pursuing these dangerous men.
Actually, Officer Singer, Natty and I learned of several Hogsmeade residents who've had their lives threatened by the Ashwinders. In addition to abducting Mr. Rabe to blackmail his wife and Natty, Rookwood and Harlow have also extorted Agabus Filbert and Otto Dibble.
I will look into all of that. As for the two of you, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but you are taking great risk. Next time, please let the authorities handle the Ashwinders.
With all due respect, officer, the authorities haven't done much about any of this.
There's more to taking down an organization like the Ashwinders than simply storming in and hauling them off based on a few accusations. I must insist that you leave them to us. We shall have no further discussion on this. Natsai, you may wish to speak with your mother about this before I do.
My mother will not like this. Thank you again for rescuing me. We shall speak soon.
Revelio. Alohomora. Revelio. Revelio. There's no telling what lies in wait for me in there.
You made it!
I take it this means you had some luck at the library.
It took a few hours and some eye-watering maps, but I think this might be the cave Doran told us about.
Impressive, especially with how little information he gave us.
Well, I'm still not sure this is the cave, but it did seem the most promising. I stumbled across some folklore about a cave in the area that people avoid. Seemed the perfect place to hide something of value. It's a bit of a leap, I confess, but might a mysterious item such as a special moonstone be hidden in an equally mysterious cave? I think I'm desperate for anything at this point.
Did you discover why people avoid this cave?
Ridiculous, really. Rumour was that the cave drove people mad. I couldn't find any account by someone who had been in the cave, though. So either it is a rumour, or anyone who went in wasn't in any state to speak of it afterwards.
Well, we're here. We might as well have a look.
Agreed. I wonder if you'd go blind from staring directly at a moonstone.
Revelio. You don't think the rumors about the cave are true, do you?
I suppose we'll find out, won't we?
Revelio.
But I wouldn't. It's another aggressive one! What is going on with that?
Revelio. Closer. Lumos!
Lumos!
Revelio. 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 Revelio.
Voipers!
I beg your pardon?
This must be how the rumor about the cave started. The Fwooper's song is said to drive anyone who hears it mad.
Revelio.
If the Moonstone is here and so are Fwoopers, I wonder if it's being protected.
Revelio. Revelio.
Why am I not surprised? First the Fwoopers and now this. We need to find moths for those spinners.
Revelio.
Perhaps the runes on the walls have something to do with finding the moths. Lumos! Lumos! another obstacle. No matter. I'm sure we can work out a way across.
Lumos. Confringo. Revelio. 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 Revelio.
It's beautiful.
Lumos.
Revelio.
You did it! I was hoping we would. Look, where the water's bubbling. How odd.
Shall we take a closer look?
You read my mind.
Revelio.
Merlin, it's even more beautiful close up. It's got to be here, I just know it.
Confringo!
Given what Groupers are known to do, I never thought I'd be so happy to see this many of them.
I don't know. I've been listening to them for a while now, and I'm starting to lose my mind.
Very funny. I was just thinking how it's proof that poachers have rebellion. Assuming this is where the Moonstone is. Which means we're one step ahead of them. We found it! It's like staring directly at the moon. Well, we found what we came for. Now we just need to bring it to the henge.
Well done, Poppy. This did end up being the right cave after all.
A good thing, too. We need every advantage over the poachers if we're to get to the Snidgets first. We should do as Doran suggested and bring the Moonstone to the henge.
Shall we?
We shall. If we leave now, we should make it there by nightfall. That's the henge, precisely where Doran said it would be. But now that we're here, I'm not entirely sure how to feel. We knew we were at the cave for the Moonstone, but Doran didn't tell us what to expect when we placed this.
Whatever it is, it had better have to do with Snidgets.
The clock is ticking in that regard, isn't it? Let's make our way down. We're nearly at the end of this. I think that's it over there.
Yeah. How's your Gran doing, by the way?
Nothing keeps Gran down. She set up a caterwauling charm and threatened to make a coat out of the next poacher that set foot on her doorstep. I still feel terrible that I'm the reason they went there.
Surely she'll be pleased you've gone after the Snidgets.
I hope so. Gran understands how important it is to protect those who need it. I think we can safely say we know where the Moonstone goes.
Revelia!
Oh. That was a mooncalf dance. Do you know how rare it is to see even one? They only ever happen under a full moon. Though I suppose the Moonstone allowed it to happen now.
Is the pattern they left behind on the ground normal?
All part of the dance. No one pattern is ever the same, though. We'll need to draw this one to get a better sense of it. Can't wait to tell Gran that I've managed to see not one, but 2 mooncalf dances. She'll be jealous.
You've seen this before?
It was pure luck the first time. I was on Highwing, or I'd never have spotted it. It was the night Well, the night I met Highwing, actually,
I'd love to hear about how you and Highwing met.
I'd actually like you to know. About 5 years ago, Highwing had been captured by poachers. At first, they planned to sell her, but soon decided they wanted to kill her instead. More money, I suppose. I'd finally had enough. I freed Highwing and we ran. We'd flown for ages when I spotted Moon. It felt like an omen. A good one. A sign that the worst was over.
What do you mean you'd had enough and the worst was over?
You see, the night I freed Highwing was also the night I ran away from home. A poacher camp. I come from a family of poachers.
Why didn't you tell me this before? After all our time together.
I'm sorry. I thought about it so many times, but I'm ashamed of who my family is. I never fitted in, but the older I got, the more apparent it became. Gran tried for years to convince my parents to let me live with her. Suffice it to say, when I left with Highwing, I flew straight for her house.
How brave. I'm glad you escaped.
So am I. There were so many creatures I was unable to help when I was younger. Now that's all I want to do.
Poppy, you're only one person. You can't save them all.
I can try, and I've had a bit of help so far. I've never told anyone any of this, but I'm glad that you know.
What was it like growing up in a family of poachers?
It was chaotic and dangerous and nowhere a child...
Do your parents know about the things you do now? Saving the dragon from the fighting ring, for instance?
We don't speak, or rather, they don't speak to me. Last I heard, they were in Borneo. However, I wouldn't be surprised if word has got back to them. Now that I'm older, I wish I could talk to them, get them to see sense, but...
We were around so many poachers in the tent.
Poachers are nomadic, and most of the ones in the area aren't any I'd grown up with. That...
I'm glad you told me.
We should get back to Doran. He'll need to see the symbol, and we... If you collect the Moonstone, I can make a quick drawing of the symbol
Revelia.
for Doran.
Are you finished with the drawing?
Just barely. I think the patterns are...
Didn't the journal say the key to finding the Snidgets lies in the moonlight?
Of course! That's it! We need to show this to Doran. Not that I'd know. Perhaps we should head back to the castle and we can track him down.
Agreed. I'm ready to leave if you are.